Lucy here from Real Life Medicine. It's me again this week. It was meant to be Mary doing low carb in the leaves, but Mary has a medical procedure coming up this week, so she's just having a little bit of downtime, and I'm doing this week, and she'll do a couple of weeks in a row coming up. I've got my glasses on today. I'm going for the clever, studious look. Well, really, I've run out of contact lenses, so I've got to order them today. This week's chat is called the top 5 mistakes that people make on a low carb lifestyle. It can be a low carb lifestyle or a ketogenic diet, whichever suits you. Now, I'm going to each day give you a top tip. Good morning, peeps. I can see you all, darlings. Okay, so today's tip is talking about fat. So there's 2 mistakes that people make, and they're basically going either end of the fat macro. So at the start of when you first change, okay, so you've been living a the standard Australian diet, which is predominantly carbohydrate based. So let's say that's been you and you're moving into a low carb or ketogenic life. The first thing is you're going to need a lot of fat. And the reason for that, remember, your woodshed is shut, you have no fuel, you need to basically bring in logs. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about with the woodshed and logs, you can go to our website, which is www.rlmedicine.com, and we have a free download, which is a little ebook, goes through exactly what I'm talking about with the woodshed and the logs. Basically, logs are like your fat. So at the start, you need a lot of it because you don't have any fuel anymore. Carbs are gone, no fuel, you need fuel. People go, oh my God, I tried that diet. I couldn't do it after 3 days. I was exhausted. You had no fuel. Or after 5 days, I was starving. You had no fuel. So at the start, I know it's so weird. We've been so conditioned to low fat diets over our life, and it is changing, but you actually need lots. Then, over a time of maybe 6 or 8 weeks, you will find that you become fat adapted. And what that means is that your woodshed is open and you have access to your own fuel, in which case you will be able to reduce your fat. Now, what that means, right, is again, fat should be just part of your diet. You know, you make your beautiful steak, let's say, and put a bit of garlic butter on the top. Or you're making, one of my favorite sort of things to make is I just make creamy kind of chickeny dishes. I might cook some chicken in a pan and put some cream in it with some veggies and a whole pile of herbs and spices. But what I see a lot of people doing is lots and lots of fat. So they're having bulletproof coffees morning, noon and night and wondering why they're not losing weight. What they'll do, they'll have lots of energy. So there is an upside, okay? So if you're lacking energy, then something like a bulletproof coffee. Now, what is a bulletproof coffee? It's a coffee that has some MCT oil, which may come in the form of coconut oil or actual, you can buy just straight MCT, medium chain triglycerides. It's basically fat, and butter or ghee or something like that. And then you whiz it up in a blender. I'm going to tell you, if you're making a bulletproof coffee and you don't whiz it, it's disgusting. So some people have these all the time and wonder why they're not losing weight. So again, it depends a little bit on what your aim is. If your aim is to lose weight and you've been doing low carb or ketogenic diet for 8 weeks, then you may need to reduce your fat. And it's kind of easy because you're full. Fat is a really good filler. And you know, I'm always saying fat and protein together, the highest satiety meaning fullness. Now, here's a fun fact. 12 Tim Tams and 12 eggs have the same calories. Many people, including myself, have eaten 12 Tim Tams. Just maybe over a couple of hours, kept going back to the cupboard, eating Tim Tams. Not many people can eat 12 eggs. They make you feel sick because they're full of fat and protein together. So there you go, my lovelies. Just be mindful of the fat. High at the start, drop it down after a little while. Not low, like we're not going back to low fat. That's never going to be good. But you don't need to keep adding buckets of fat if your goal is weight loss. Okay, that's it. That's my first tip for this week's series on the top 5 mistakes people make in a low carb or ketogenic diet. See you tomorrow, babes. Bye.